So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So here we have at the very top an illustration of a wave. And so we see here the wavelength is long, and over here the wavelength is short. This is the low energy, and this is the high energy end. Here on this number line here, we have the wavelength listed in meters. So this is 10 to the 5th meters, would be 100,000 meters, really long. And over here we have 10 to the minus 15th meters, which is extremely short. So these wavelengths vary tremendously. The long wavelengths are radio waves. Have you ever wondered, how do I get that signal from the radio station? How does my radio pick that up? It's a form of energy, it's electromagnetic radiation that's being sent out by the radio station from the tower. We can't sense it, but you can design a radio that can pick that up and transfer that electromagnetic energy into sounds, and all of a sudden you've got your favorite tunes coming out of your earbuds. So these are very low energy. As we go over here, we get higher and higher energy. And so there's radio waves and microwaves and infrared radiation. Right here in the middle is visible light, then ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, and gamma rays. So the visible light is of interest to us because that's something we can see. The rest of this we can't detect with our senses, but the visible light we can see. So this little tiny piece here has been expanded, and so I don't want you to misinterpret this chart. This is not saying that red light is the same low energy as radio waves. We're taking this little tiny piece in the middle and we're blowing it up so we can look at it better. So red is a lower energy and violet is a higher energy. I remember the direction of this because ultraviolet radiation, that's UV light, that's what gives me a sunburn. Infrared radiation is heat, radiant heat. So something is giving off heat, that's actually a form of electromagnetic radiation. So infrared means below red, ultraviolet means above violet. The gamma rays, way up there at the top, shortest wavelength, they're the most energetic. These are produced by the sun and the stars and by some atomic nuclei. Those are very damaging to living organisms. X-rays are less energetic than gamma rays, but have enough energy that they can pass through many solid substances. And this is why you go to the doctor and they can take an X-ray. It'll go through your soft tissues, but be at least partially blocked by the solid things like bones. And so the doctor can use X-rays to get a picture of what's going on inside of you. Both of these have medical uses for imaging and destroying tumors. They are energetic enough to damage biological molecules. So X-rays are very useful and would not be harmful in small quantities, but you don't want to be getting a whole bunch of unnecessary X-rays because they do cause a small amount of damage. This is just sort of a side note. I'm not going to test you on this, but I think it's interesting to see the application of these things to actual life. So X-rays or gamma ray beams can be used to treat cancer. They sometimes call it a gamma knife. So when you have a brain tumor, perhaps, that cannot be operated on because the process of getting rid of the tumor would cause more damage than the tumor itself, you've got a problem, right? You can't go in there with a knife. But you can send gamma radiation into the tumor. Now the problem is that the gamma radiation is going to damage all the tissue that it goes through, not just what you're aiming at. So what they do is they take small amounts of gamma radiation coming in from multiple directions, all focused on the tumor. So the healthy brain tissue gets a small dose of radiation from this beam, and the tumor gets a small dose. And then this beam comes in, and the healthy tissue gets a small dose, and the tumor gets another small dose. And so they're all focused on the tumor, and so you can cause a lot of damage to the tumor and only a small amount of damage to the healthy tissue. Any questions about that? UV or ultraviolet light, this is what gives you a sunburn or a suntan. Not as much energy as X-rays, but still enough that it can cause damage. If you've ever had a bad sunburn, you know that there's been damage to your skin. Visible light does not damage biological molecules. Have you ever wondered, how do we see things? What's going on with that? Sometimes it actually kind of makes your brain hurt if you start thinking about stuff too much. The energy of light causes molecules in your eyes to rearrange, and your brain interprets that. It's actually a very complex event. Your brain interprets the rearrangements of those molecules as vision. And we'll leave it at that. Infrared light is the heat that you feel when you place your hand near a hot object. All warm objects, including human bodies, emit infrared light. So you've probably heard of night vision. Night vision technology allows you to see in the dark. It's not seeing in the same way as you can see when there's light, but you can visualize things using electronics by monitoring the infrared light. I think I have a picture here. Yeah. So here's a normal photograph of a guy and a couple of his dogs, and here is the infrared photograph. So here we see visible light bouncing off of things. What we're seeing here is sensors have captured the infrared radiation that's being given off. And so we see where the man's skin is exposed, we see a lot more infrared radiation. And here we see that the dog's ears and his eyes and his mouth are warm, and there's proof dogs' noses are cold.
Why do certain animals have light or refract right back at you?
That's a good question. Some animals, especially cats, you may have noticed, like if you try to take a flash picture of them, you just see this really bright light from their eyes because their eyes reflect a lot of the light back. That does enable them to see better in lower light situations, but humans also do that. And so it's just part of your eye reflecting visible light.
They have like a special liquid in it.
A special liquid? I am not sure. I am not a biologist.
I
Yeah.
just took bios.
Yeah. So I would say that probably most of you know more biology than I do, because I took biology when I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't care for it, and I managed to never take it again. So that would be a question for a biologist. But biology and chemistry do overlap in certain areas. Microwaves are used for radar. They're also used in microwave ovens. And you might wonder, well, if microwaves are lower in energy than visible light, how do they make my food so hot? The reason microwaves work is that they have a particular frequency that is well absorbed by water molecules. So anything that you put in the microwave that has water in it will efficiently absorb the microwaves and become hot. If this thing that you stick in there has very little water or no water at all, then it's not going to warm up well at all. Radio waves, that's your AM, FM radio signals, your cell phone signal, television, other sorts of communication. Okay, so this is something we should be able to do. Arrange the color of visible light, green, red, and blue, in order of increasing wavelength, frequency, and energy per photon. So in order of increasing, what that means is we're going to start with the smallest and then go to the next biggest and end up with the largest. A lot of students end up doing these exactly backwards because they misunderstand the question, and that's really unfortunate. Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through how I would answer this question without looking at the spectrum, which I won't give you on the exam. So I have to order these things. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the colors. So there's different ways of remembering this, but Roy G. Biv is the one I was taught. Those are the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. They always end up in the same order because that's how the wavelengths change. So here I've got my red, and there's my green and the blue that the question is asking me about. Now what I need to do is decide which is higher energy, which is lower energy, and the wavelength and the frequency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, beyond violet is ultraviolet, right? Like Ultra Lord, he's the super Lord, right? So ultra means better, greater. So there's violet light and then there's the UV light. I know from personal experience that this has higher energy because it gives me a bad sunburn. You have to look at me and you can tell I get a sunburn. So this end is going to be high energy. So if this end is the high energy, then this must be the low energy. I don't have to answer this question in order. I can answer question part C first, because I just figured that one out. Which is the lowest energy, red, green, or blue? Red, because it's on this end. So this one would be red, and what's next higher in energy? Green, and the most energetic is blue. Red, green, blue. Okay? Now these are asking about wavelength and frequency. So then we're like, Well, higher energy waves are going up and down fast, right? So that's like, and the low energy is the slow-looking, ponderous ones. So from those pictures, I can see, well, this must be the long wavelength, right? And this must be the short wavelength. So we're going in order of increasing wavelength, which is the shorter wavelength. The blue. And the next longer, green. And the longest wavelength is the red. Because this is the wavelength. Okay, so we got two of them, and then frequency. Well, look at these pictures. I didn't mean to do that. Look at the pictures I drew. If you imagine these waves passing you at the same speed, you're going to have fewer crests passing you here than you are here. So this is high frequency, and this is low frequency. So this one was low wavelength and high frequency. There's really only two good possible answers to these questions. The order, green is always going to be in the middle. It's just a question of, is it red, green, blue, or is it blue, green, red? So the frequency, which is the shortest, the lowest frequency? The red. So red is the low frequency, green is middle, and blue is higher frequency. So you can memorize stuff, or you can find some little tricks where you can just kind of think it out. And I retain that sort of information a lot better. If I draw pictures of waves and think, well, this one looks like it would have more energy, and I just reason it out that way.